Morning, Noah. Yeah, nice to see you too. Yeah, I'm sitting in my truck. I'm still up here trying to finish the season off.
Rick
For 30
Ness
years,
started this mining season knowing that the pressure on him would be heavier than ever before, because he had learned from years of experience that gold mining is never easy. And it is not just about luck or finding a rich spot. It is about constant hard work, careful planning, dealing with machines that break down, unpredictable weather, and making the right financial choices at the right time. From the very beginning, things did not go smoothly for Rick or his crew. The first days were full of small problems that quickly grew into bigger ones. Machines that were supposed to work all day stopped working in the middle of the shift. Sometimes the hydraulic lines broke on the excavators, and sometimes the belts on the wash plant jammed, stopping the flow of dirt and making everyone wait. On top of that, there was a shortage of workers because a few crew members could not be there every day, and that meant fewer hands to do more work, which created more stress and longer hours for everyone on site. Rick had chosen a deep cut of land to dig, a place that had shown promise in past seasons, and everyone believed that if the dig was successful, it could hold a large amount of gold that would change the season for the team. However, as the first cleanups were done and the gold was counted, the numbers were much lower than expected, and each time Rick saw the totals, he felt the pressure grow because the cost of running the mining operation was so high. Fuel, repairs, salaries, and payments to landowners added up quickly, and without strong weekly numbers, the season could easily become a financial disaster. Just as these challenges were building, landowner Troy Taylor arrived with an offer that could completely change the game for Rick. Troy wanted to sell the land that Rick was mining, which would allow him to own the claim and remove future rent payments, giving him full control over the operation. But the price was extremely high, around $250,000, or the value of roughly 150 ounces of gold. And making such a big investment while already struggling to reach the season goal was a serious risk. Rick had to decide whether to spend all his money to own the land and secure the future, or to continue renting and risk losing access later if Troy decided to sell to someone else. While he was thinking about this big decision, the mining problems kept coming. The wash plant, which was the main machine to process the dirt and extract gold, kept breaking down, slowing production at the worst possible times. Every hour the plant was down meant gold left in the ground and money lost. Realizing that he could not do it alone, Rick called the one person he trusted completely, his father, to come and help. When his father arrived, he immediately joined the crew and began working tirelessly alongside them, bringing experience, knowledge, and a strong work ethic that helped the team keep moving forward. But as always in mining, success came with more challenges. Shortly after his father arrived, a major hydraulic line cracked on one of the excavators, stopping it from moving pay dirt. Without the excavator, it was impossible to continue digging in the main area, and if it stayed broken for long, it could ruin the entire week's production. Rick and his father rolled up their sleeves and began repairing the machine themselves, working long hours under freezing conditions and heavy pressure. With determination, careful work, and teamwork, they finally got the excavator running again, bringing hope back to the crew. Even with this success, the challenges did not stop. The team was still small, each worker doing the work of 2 or 3 people, and missing their usual mechanic made every breakdown more dangerous. Still, quitting was not an option. Everyone knew that somewhere beneath the frozen ground, the gold they were chasing was waiting, and if they stayed patient and worked hard, they could reach it. Even a small success gave them energy to keep going, and Rick knew that if he could survive a few more weeks and solve the major equipment problems, the season could be saved. Every day brought a new problem: frozen pipes, broken belts, stuck trucks, and floods in the pit. But every day also brought a new opportunity to get a little more gold and move closer to the season goal. Rick knew that in mining, luck always plays a part, but hard work, planning, and teamwork are what make the difference between finishing the season with success or losing it all. As days turned into weeks, Rick's mind never stopped running. He thought about the financial pressures, the land purchase, the machines, the workers, the weather, and the target he needed to reach. Every decision mattered. A mistake in choosing where to dig or when to run a machine could cost thousands of dollars, or even the entire season. Even when the team seemed to have fixed one problem, another one would appear. Flooding from unexpected rain, stuck trucks, broken hydraulic lines, jammed belts, missing crew members, or failing motors constantly tested their skills and patience. Yet Rick's leadership kept them focused. His father's experience provided guidance, showing the team how to repair machines, fix hydraulic lines, and operate the wash plant efficiently. The crew learned to work as a unit, communicating quickly and solving problems on the spot, because in gold mining, there is no time to wait for someone else to come and fix things. Every ounce of gold recovered was hard-earned, and every failure reminded them how valuable it was to keep the machines running and the pit clear. As the season continued, Rick and his team faced not only mechanical and financial pressure, but also the mental challenge of staying motivated under extreme stress. Some days were long, exhausting, and frustrating, and it seemed like nothing would go right. But other days, a small discovery in the dirt, a successful repair, or a few ounces of gold from a cleanup reminded them why they were there. The hope of finding a large gold strike kept everyone moving forward. By now, Rick understood that this season was not just about gold. It was about endurance, courage, teamwork, and smart decision-making. Even when nature, machines, or chance worked against them, the team had to keep going, because stopping was not an option. They were too invested, both financially and emotionally, to walk away. And somewhere deep down, everyone knew that the gold they were seeking was real and waiting for them, if they could keep pushing forward, stay focused, and solve the constant challenges that mining life threw at them. Day after day, the team dug, cleaned, repaired, and worked under pressure, knowing that each day could bring either disaster or success. Even small victories gave them motivation, and the presence of Rick's father, who worked tirelessly alongside them, showed how teamwork and experience could overcome almost any problem. Rick also thought about the future. Owning land would remove uncertainty, but the financial risk was high, and missing the gold target would make the investment dangerous. Still, he could not stop now. Every moment counted. Every ounce of gold was precious. And as the first weeks of the season passed, it became clear that this year would test not only their skills, but their patience, decision-making, and willpower in ways no previous season ever had. The machines, the weather, the crew, the money, and the land purchase all hung over Rick like a storm cloud, reminding him that nothing in mining is simple, and that every choice can change the outcome. Yet, despite all these pressures, Rick Ness and his team kept moving forward, day after day, never letting the setbacks stop them, knowing that somewhere below the frozen rocky ground, the gold they needed was waiting for them to claim it. And only their hard work, persistence, and teamwork could bring that reward. As the mining season moved forward, Rick Ness and his team faced constant challenges, but small moments of hope kept them going and gave them the energy to push through. Every day seemed to bring a new problem, but also the possibility of discovering a big payoff. One day, one of the crew members, Brennan, decided to test a random area of dirt that nobody had planned to dig before, and surprisingly, it produced gold. That unexpected discovery gave the team a much-needed boost in confidence, and reminded them that luck still plays a role in mining, even for experienced miners. The site quickly got a nickname, the Bacon Strip, and everyone hoped that this would be the beginning of more consistent gold production. However, in mining, as soon as one problem is solved, another appears. Not long after the test showed promising results, a rock truck got stuck in a pile of dirt. stopping work completely until it could be pulled free by another machine. The situation caused stress and frustration for the crew, because every hour lost meant gold left in the ground and money lost. On top of that, one of the truck drivers suddenly disappeared for a day, leaving the team short-handed and forcing someone else to step in. In a surprising turn of events, his girlfriend jokingly offered to drive the truck, and to everyone's amazement, she actually did the job safely and efficiently, proving that in mining, sometimes the unexpected can help solve problems, and that teamwork is not always predictable. While the crew dealt with these challenges, the wash plant continued to have issues. A large crack appeared between the plant and the pre-wash area, allowing water to rush in and flood part of the operation. If the flood had continued, it could have stopped production for days and cost the crew thousands of dollars in lost gold. Once again, Rick's father stepped in to lead emergency repairs and coordinate the crew, using his experience to keep everyone working efficiently. With teamwork, problem-solving, and determination, the team managed to fix the crack and get production moving again, proving that even in difficult situations, experience and leadership make a huge difference. After these repairs, a cleanup brought in a decent amount of gold, enough to lift morale and encourage the team to keep going. But the relief was short-lived, because new challenges kept appearing almost daily. Two critical pieces of the wash plant went missing, forcing the team to improvise and build replacements from scratch. Even after this solution, production dropped dramatically in the next cleanup, reminding everyone that mining is a cycle of successes and failures, and nothing is ever guaranteed. To help with the technical repairs, expert mechanics Freddie and Juan arrived and worked for 4 days to fix worn-out parts in the plant, allowing production to improve again. Their efforts gave the crew hope, but Rick knew that the richest pay dirt was still waiting under difficult conditions, and that reaching it would require more risk, more effort, and smarter planning. Encouraged by the improvements, Rick decided to take another bold step by digging deeper in an area that had previously produced little gold. Large rocks soon appeared in the new pit, which experienced miners knew often indicated the presence of gold nearby. Quick test pans confirmed their suspicions, and the discovery of nuggets gave the crew renewed confidence. However, the season was far from easy. The pit suddenly flooded, and an attempt to remove water by breaking a beaver dam only made the situation worse, forcing Rick to bring in a high-capacity pump to manage the water. The pump was expensive, costing tens of thousands of dollars, but without it, the valuable pay dirt could not be mined, and the season would suffer greatly. Slowly, the water level dropped, and the crew could finally dig, clean, and process more gold, producing some of the best numbers of the season so far. Even with these gains, Rick remained cautious, because every success seemed to bring a new challenge. Conveyor belts jammed with rocks, machines needed maintenance, and each cleanup required careful monitoring to avoid wasting gold or causing costly downtime. The pressure on the team was constant, yet morale improved with each small victory. Rick knew that mining was about endurance and persistence, not just luck. He also understood that leadership meant staying calm under pressure, making quick decisions, and motivating the crew when things seemed hopeless. Even as days grew longer and more exhausting, the team continued to dig, clean, and repair, learning to work together efficiently and anticipate problems before they became disasters. By now, the pattern was clear. The season would not be defined by a single gold strike, but by consistent effort, clever problem-solving, and the ability to overcome mechanical, financial, and natural obstacles. The bacon strip became a symbol of hope, proving that even when things seem impossible, careful testing, risk-taking, and teamwork can lead to success. Rick's father remained an anchor of knowledge, teaching younger crew members how to repair machines, manage water, and safely operate heavy equipment. These lessons improved overall productivity and reduced mistakes that could have cost the team valuable time and gold. Even with these advantages, winter was slowly approaching, and every day lost brought the risk of the ground freezing and ending the season early. Rick's mind was always focused on balancing the immediate needs of production with long-term strategy, including whether buying the land from Troy Taylor was the right move. Owning the land would remove uncertainty about rent and allow Rick to fully control the operation, but the upfront cost was significant, and failing to reach the season goal could make the investment very risky. The combination of mechanical failures, flooding, missing crew, financial pressure, and limited time created a season that tested not only mining skills, but also problem-solving, patience, and teamwork. Yet despite these challenges, the crew worked tirelessly, knowing that each ounce of gold recovered was a step closer to saving the season. Small successes kept them motivated, and even the smallest pan of gold became a reason to continue working long hours in freezing, difficult conditions. Rick also had to make fast decisions about which areas to dig, which machines to run, and when to repair equipment, because delays could cost thousands of dollars or the opportunity to find richer gold elsewhere. Every choice mattered, and every failure had consequences, yet the team learned to adapt quickly and overcome obstacles together. By now, the crew understood the importance of communication, trust, and careful coordination, because in gold mining, one mistake can cost an entire week's work, while teamwork and focus can turn impossible situations into small victories. As the season progressed, Rick and his crew saw that mining is never simple or predictable. Each day brought a combination of frustration and hope, setbacks and small wins, teaching everyone involved that perseverance and determination are as important as luck. With the pump finally managing the water in the pit, the crew could focus on digging and processing more dirt, and cleanups began to show significant amounts of gold again. While not all days were perfect, the team's resilience and willingness to adapt made it possible to continue mining efficiently. Every challenge taught the crew something new about machinery, terrain, or teamwork, and every success reminded them why they kept pushing forward in such a difficult and unpredictable business. Even with obstacles at every turn, Rick Ness's leadership and his father's experience created a balance that allowed the crew to overcome problems and keep progressing toward the season goal. Understanding that the difference between failure and success in mining is often just the ability to adapt, work together, and keep moving forward, no matter how hard the conditions become. As the final stretch of the mining season approached, Rick Ness knew that this was the most critical part of the year, because winter was coming fast, and the ground would soon freeze, making it impossible to continue digging or processing dirt until the next season. Every decision now carried extreme weight, and every machine, worker, and ounce of gold mattered more than ever before. Rick made one of the boldest decisions of the season by running 2 wash plants at the same time, a risky move that could either increase production dramatically or cause total failure if something went wrong. This decision placed enormous responsibility on a newer crew member named Kyle, who suddenly had to operate one of the wash plants alone, managing the heavy machinery, monitoring the flow of dirt, and making sure that nothing jammed or malfunctioned. The pressure on Kyle was immense, but to Rick's relief, he handled it well, keeping the operation running smoothly and proving that even new members could rise to the challenge when given the opportunity. Meanwhile, Rick focused on the richest pay dirt, which was trapped behind a section that had been flooded earlier. The flooding had created serious problems, and any mistake now could destroy weeks of work. To solve the problem, Rick rented a powerful 10-inch pump from landowner Troy Taylor, paying tens of thousands of dollars to remove the water from the pit. The expense was high, but without it, the operation could not continue, and all the hard work of the season would be wasted. Slowly, the water receded, and the crew could return to digging and processing, feeling the pressure lift slightly as they saw the dirt flowing again through the wash plants. The cleanup brought impressive results, some of the best numbers of the season so far, giving the team hope that they could reach their ambitious season goal if they kept pushing forward. However, success did not mean the problems were over. Conveyor belts jammed with rocks, machinery broke down unexpectedly, and every cleanup required careful attention to prevent costly mistakes. Rick immediately called in the manufacturer to install a device called a finger trap to catch rocks before they could jam the system, and this quick solution helped prevent one of the largest potential shutdowns of the season.